Hey everybody, I am back with another review, and this time it is another game that was sort of a new thing for me, and that would be called 999. This game it was so good, it's in my top 10 list for any game. It's not just like, top 10 RPG, top 10 platform or whatever. Top 10 of all time. That's how much this game resonated with me. It was that good. I've heard nothing but good things from friends on YouTube, and then you go look up, reviews, and it gets great reviews. And it's the kind of game that's really hard to find. It's not, a game that's it's Walmart always has a copy type of deal. This is sort of a more obscure title. I picked this up when I was in New York. I saw it and it was sort of a no-brainer, definitely picking up. So I don't want to spoil too much about this, so we'll talk about why, what grabbed me, but we'll talk about why, I don't know, just what it's about, but not giving away too many things, because I want this to be completely a surprise for everybody, because it was just that neat. It's very creative, it's an original game, it's not like anything else you've played. I mean, I'll give you an example. Everyone says that Chrono Trigger is so unique because it's time travel, and you know what? It really is unique. For that fact, it was more than just, medieval RPG, blah, blah, blah. But this is very unique, just in a lot of ways. So let's just sort of get into why this game resonated with me so much. I've heard a lot of things about visual novel games. They've never really been something I've, wanted to check out until this game. Everyone just told me to buy it. So it was kind of like one of those, fine, everybody just told me, definitely going to grab it. So what it is it's a visual novel game, and with that comes a lot of puzzles. The puzzles thing is not really my thing, and I say that because you're thinking, okay, so you played a game that you put in your top 10, and yet you're not really a puzzle game person. Yes, because some of the puzzles, they're quite interesting, and you just kind of went with the flow. This game was all about story to me. That's what it was. The puzzles were fun, don't get me wrong, and some of them were, quite frustrating on the other end, but it was more about getting the puzzle done and getting to the next sort of, I wouldn't say cutscene, because they're not cutscenes, but sort of next visual novel part of the game. Just because the story was so interesting. It was like, I wish this became a movie. It was just so interesting. So, without spoiling too much, I'll just tell you a little bit about, what the game is about. You wake up and what appears to be a ship. You're not entirely sure because you're in a room, but you can kind of hear the sounds of the boat creaking. So you assume, okay, I'm on a boat and I just woke up. I have no idea how I got here. That's really strange. Your character's name is Junpei, whatever. It kind of sounded like a Chinese name. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, regardless. Your name is Junpei, and you have no idea where you are. You, basically, you can't get out of the room. So you're like, what? Can't get out of the room. And all of a sudden, water starts pouring into the room. So you better get out or you're going to drown. As you're figuring things out, and so basically this is the first puzzle, they're all escape puzzles. So you're in a place and you have to escape, or something bad might happen, whatever. Not all of them are necessarily that ridiculous where you're going to drown, but a lot of them are pretty bad. So you're thinking, this is really weird. You've also noticed that on your wrist you have a bracelet with a number on it. So that's also kind of weird, and it's not coming off. So as you're figuring this out and how to get out of this room, you start remembering, I'm pretty sure I was actually kidnapped. And that's kind of all the main character remembers, was this, you went home, went to your apartment, and, the window was open in the apartment. That's kind of creepy. And then out of the corner of your eye, or I think it was a mirror or something, Junpei sees this creepy person, not sure, male or female, whatever, in a gas mask, which is super creepy, And then they basically unleash, some kind of sleeping gas, and that's kind of all you remember. So you're assuming that person obviously put you here. You're not sure why you're here. After you manage to get out of this room, you meet up with a bunch of other people. There's 8 other people, thus 9, because it's called 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. So you meet up with all these other people who have just basically done the exact same you just did. They were all in their own room. Now they've sort of met in this sort of lobby, if you will. There's like a staircase. It's a main area. Looks very much like a ship, like a very old ship, like a Titanic type ship. So nobody really knows what's going on. And everyone's freaking out, and then on the speaker system, a voice that's kind of jumbled comes on and says, "Hi, my name is Zero. Basically, I put you here. That's, the gas mask person." And he's basically saying, or he, she, whatever. It sounds like a male that they can tell. He is saying, you basically have 9 hours to get off this boat. There's 9 of you and there's 9 doors. So you have to basically, all the people in the main area are looking and they see a couple doors, so they have to go through them. I won't get into the logistics of how you open the doors and blah, 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 but basically you have to go through a bunch of doors till you reach door number 9. And you have 9 hours, or else you're basically going to drown. The water will rise. That's it for you. So really weird. All the characters are panicking. It reminded me, it's almost like if you took the Saw movies and mixed them with like Battle Royale. This sounds like a weird way to describe it, but the only way I can is it's just a very sort of Japanese horror kind of type genre. This is sort of, it's very Japanese. There's elements that you can see, like that's totally an American horror movie. That's, very European. This is just very Japanese. It's very Asian. Just the whole sadistic, like I'm playing a game, because that's what essentially this person, Zero, is playing. It's called the Nonary game. It's all to do with the number 9. So they're playing this sadistic game with 9 people, and you basically better play their game or else you're going to die. So everyone has to work together, and every character has their own backstory. There's a bunch of different endings. I didn't get through every one, but I did manage to get the true ending, because there's like, there's bad endings, and when I say that, they're literally like, you'll reach an ending and on the screen it will actually say bad ending. So you're like, okay, it actually was a shitty ending, and there's obviously more to this. And the first ending I got was a bad ending, and when I actually got the other ones, some of them were like literally 4 more hours of gameplay. So that was kind of neat, because it wasn't just like, oh, I'll redo this and blah, blah, blah. You actually were missing a lot of the game. So you kind of, in order to get the true ending, you have to unlock a certain ending and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be honest with you, I looked up how to do that. If you don't want to do that, just try and figure it out on your own. Maybe that's awful that I did that, but for me, this was really about story, and I wanted to get through the story. So yeah, I wanted to just know how to just to reach that ending. It was so fascinating. And what's neat is there's sort of different endings. So you can play through, some of them, but you'll pick up certain pieces from the other endings, which I thought was really cool. Like they played off something you had learned before because it knows that you've seen that ending and blah, blah, blah. So that made it very interesting. The story, like I said, I want it to be a movie. It was so sadistic, and honestly, this game it freaked me out. Like I would play it at night, and then something would happen in the story where, I don't know, just for example, a character is just not there anymore, and you're like, oh no, where did they go? And weird stuff would happen. And the music that went along to this was like absolutely fantastic. Like I already, found the score online. It's great. It's really, how would I describe this? It takes a lot of elements from typical horror movies and mixes it with like dark wave. So it almost sounds like industrial, sort of like if you're not really familiar with that, almost take Marilyn Manson type music, but hype it up and make it a bit more electronic. So if that, without words, obviously. So it's kind of like that, and I really like music like that, so that was really added. But some of the music in this game was just like so simple, but really effective, and you'd be playing and something really, really awful would happen, and you're like, holy shit, and it just freaked me out. There are like, it's because it's a visual novel, basically play a puzzle, so the characters, like I said, they have to go in a room, they'll have to solve a puzzle, and then they'll get to another area, and then have to go in another room, blah, blah, until you reach the last door. And you learn all sorts of crazy stuff about all these characters, because it's all like, everyone is wondering, why are we all here? Do we all have something in common? Anything, and people are really hesitant to share details, and then things slip and come out, and it's very, very interesting. I did see the true ending, like I mentioned before, and I was really happy with it. So I can at least say that I was very satisfied. There are a couple endings that are definitely not satisfying, and you're like, oh God, I need to find, something better. But the official true ending I thought was really well done. It summed things up. I feel like I get exactly what was going on. But I mean, I don't want to say too much, because it's like, then people will know, like, oh, I guess you do find that out. It's like, I'm just going to shut up. But I will recommend this. It's actually, although it's hard to find, it's not hard to find online. So you can go online and find it for like $25 or $20, $5 shipping kind of deal. So it is easy to find. I love that this always happens. But whenever you're looking for something and you order it online or something, the next day you go to like EB or Walmart, it's there, and it's like, are you kidding me right now? But yeah, after I did buy this, I walked into EB and they had one there used, and I thought, oh my God, seriously? But yeah, it is possible to find this. It's not that hard. I mean, I did find a nice sealed copy, so that was kind of nice just to get, a brand new copy, obviously. But yeah, nothing but good things to say. It resonated with me so much because I like scary movies, and I like a lot of sort of sadistic scary movies. And this one, it took all of those elements. It had great music. It had just a great feel, if that makes any sense. It was just so, like, you could not put it down. I would describe this as a book that you just cannot put down. Like, you everywhere you go, you're like walking in the hallway reading. It's kind of like that. I just could not stop playing it. I looked forward to like an hour of just reading stuff, which some people might find a little bit awful, but because it was so interesting and you're learning about the characters, and then, something ridiculous would happen, I thought it was pretty good. So this gives my like very highest recommendation, just because it's different. If you want something new, like for me, I love platformers and RPGs. This is totally not like that at all. I also really liked the character animations. I guess I shouldn't say animation, but more just the images. They just looked really great, and it was enough that you could sort of understand what was going on. Like, there were different images for different emotions, and they'd change as something bad happened or good happened. So yeah, this is a fantastic game, and I don't want to spoil anymore or talk about it anymore, because you just have to experience this for yourself. There is a sequel, which I did pick up and I did beat, so we're going to talk about that next time. It's called Zero's Escape: Virtue's Last Reward, and it's for the 3DS. And as you can tell, I really did like that one as well. It was very, very good. I think I would place this a little higher. It's like, I guess the example I'd put is like Alien, the movie Alien and the movie Aliens. I actually did like Aliens better than the original, but nothing was shocking, because the first one was so, you really didn't know what to expect. You did not know what anything looked like. In the second one, it's just there's aliens everywhere, and it's not like a surprise. Like, this is what they look like, this is what they do, this is how they behave, we get it. But that's kind of the same thing. You kind of know it's, the gameplay aspect. This was totally shocking, the whole nonary game thing. So really interesting, sort of sadistic Asian horror, if you will. So pick this up, really good, not that hard to find, and I will leave it there because you just have to experience this for yourself. So I'll leave it there, and I will see you guys next time.